We looked at the general idea of separating half reactions into half cells. Now we'll actually represent this with some diagrams, and you can have a look at the actual physical separation. So we know that zinc is oxidized and copper is reduced in this reaction, and so we're going to generate a voltaic cell. So some common ways to describe a voltaic cell is with the use of a standard diagram, and this is where we actually separate the half reaction. So I would take as you can see there, a poorly drawn piece of zinc, and I'm going to immerse it in a solution that contains zinc 2 ions. Okay, we know the reaction that happens in this half cell is the oxidation. So this is where some of the solid zinc would dissociate into zinc ions and free electrons. The other half reaction, or the other half cell, is that which would see the reduction of copper 2 to metallic copper. So this is where we would immerse a piece of copper metal in a solution of copper 2, all right, and the reduction reaction would occur as written here. All right, these cells get labeled as cathode and anode. These are electrodes that we're essentially forming. In order to remember what's what, I'll give you definitions here. Reduction always occurs at the cathode, and oxidation always occurs at the anode. Right? You'll start to see up in the upper right-hand corner my construction of this voltaic cell. Handy way to remember the labeling terms. Reduction always occurs at the cathode, red cat. All right. In a voltaic cell, the anode is deemed negative, and the cathode is deemed positively charged. All right, it's important to note that that's specific to voltaic cells. That will change for an electrolytic cell. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the half cells. Like I would do this through a voltage probe of some sort. All right, and we remember from our theoretical work in the last video that the cell potential here should be 1.10 volts, right? They also need to be, the cells need to complete a circuit so electrons can flow throughout it, all right, by means of a salt bridge. You can see in my video in the upper right, all I have is a piece of paper towel soaked in a salt of some sort. In this case, it's potassium nitrate. This facilitates the flow of the electrons. Right, the salt bridge helps keep the charge balanced in each of the respective half cells. Okay, so the reactions occur as drawn. Zinc sends its electrons around through the voltage probe into the metallic piece of copper, which attracts copper 2 plus ions. The predicted value was 1.1. You can see our experimental value there was 1.07 volts.